first one ever on the channel, but we feel like there's no better time to do it than now with Texas surging under Shaka Smart. We just won the Big 12 championship for the first time ever in basketball, the tourney championship, which is just very hype. You love to see it, and we're excited heading into March Madness. We feel like we finally have a team that could make some noise. So first of all, we want to ask you to subscribe and like and comment on all these videos because it really helps us grow. And y'all know the drill, so please do that. That'd be great. And we're officially starting our campaign to get to 3K subscribers by the Arkansas game, which is in September. I don't know the exact date, but a couple years back, Steven from Fanatic Perspectives did the 5K subscribers by LSU, and I think he hit that benchmark. So we think that's a realistic goal, and we want to get there. So we're pushing for 3K by the Arkansas game. So help us out, subscribe, and we'll get it going. But Thomas, were you watching Texas this past week in the Big 12 tourney? What were you thinking watching the Horns just go ball out like that?
Yeah, I thought they looked really good. I mean, obviously our first Big 12 title win, which I was actually kind of surprised to learn that we hadn't won a Big 12 title before in basketball at least. So, but yeah, they looked really good. 55.2% from the field, 50% from deep. Obviously, Matt Coleman had a career high 30-point game, and get this, he was 71.4% from the field and 80% from three. But he's not the only one who balled out. Like Jericho Sims was very dominant in the paint at 21 points, 14 rebounds. But without getting too far into it, what do you think? What did you like about the team?
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like all of our players really showed up to play, and we played honestly, we played like really complete games for the last 5 games now, ever since the Oklahoma game in Norman a couple of weeks ago. That kind of got the ball rolling on the momentum that we have now. But yeah, I was actually watching the game and I was thinking, you know how coaches, whenever they do their entry press conferences, they always say, I want to have a product on the field or on the court that makes, the fan base proud. I was proud watching the Horns just battle with Oklahoma State and Texas Tech. I love watching our guys compete, especially our big men on the board. Brock Cunningham just wreaking havoc out there. He's the gel guy, but he causes fits. I mean, he was locking down Cade Cunningham. And in parts, I mean, you're never going to lock down Cade Cunningham because he's gonna get his, as we saw. But yeah, I mean, I'm just so happy to see us play. I haven't seen us play that high level basketball really since maybe Kevin Durant was here in Austin, and the timing's perfect. I mean, March Madness is often about which team is hot at the right time, and not only do we have the correct roster, I think, with the veteran guards that are really talented and can hit clutch shots, but we also have the one and done type NBA talent in the front court too. So it's a nice mix, and we got the experience too. A lot of seniors and juniors, upperclassmen that we rely on. So I'm very optimistic. It kind of sucks that Kansas game got canceled and we just advanced without having to play them, because I wanted to sweep them and win the third game against them, and I think we would have. I think we're better than Kansas in a bad matchup for them. But either way, we'll take the Big 12 championship. We'll put the banner up and we'll celebrate that. But
yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, I know there was some early concerns about maybe some of our big men not doing big man things, but they definitely seem to recover from poor rebounding versus Texas Tech. But they showed up, and as we're going to discuss in a little while, we're definitely going to talk about their NBA prospect status. But before we continue on to that, what are your thoughts on Shaka Smart and his tenure at Texas?
Man, he's proven me wrong. I mean, when we lost to West Virginia like a couple weeks ago, when he blew that lead and our players started fighting on the court.
Yeah, it was bad.
I thought that was kind of, here comes the we're going to fall flat in our face like we do every year. Start fast, finish horribly. But then out of nowhere, we just flipped the script and we're balling at the right time, like I said. And the thing that I noticed against Oklahoma State is we actually, for the first time, looked really coached up. I mean, we were pressuring Cade Cunningham in the first half, the entire game, doubling him, making him uncomfortable, got him in foul trouble too, which those are the type of little things that help you win. And if you can combine, competent coaching with the talent that we have in Austin, it's going to be a formula for success. So I was just so happy to see that. It looks like we're finally being coached up, and I hope we can continue it in March Madness. But I'm just super happy for Shaka because I think he's definitely earned at least another year at Texas, even if he loses against Abilene Christian in round one. Just the fact that he won the Big 12 title, he brought some hardware home to Austin. I think that alone, plus he's just a great guy, a great leader of men. So I think you got to give him another year regardless. And if he makes some noise, makes a deep run, maybe extend him because he's definitely earning his money now this year. And we expected that with how stacked of a roster he has. But, I mean, he recruited all these guys, so these are his players. So, yeah, I'm happy with Shaka. I'm glad he's proved me wrong. And I'm hoping he can get his first tournament win here in Austin this weekend.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I guess one thing that I had noticed in previous years with Texas basketball is just their kind of have like a tendency to fizzle as time goes on. And, that may be a result of just the way the NBA is structured in terms of their ability to kind of draft players very early on, at least as compared to the NFL. And so I know we're kind of like a revolving door for talent in that respect. But yeah, I was definitely impressed with the way he recovered, especially after, like you said, that disastrous game where everyone was fighting on the court and it looked like it was going to be a very dramatic implosion. But I'm definitely proud of the way that they turned the season around. I mean, to bring home the Big 12 titles, very impressive. So I agree with you. I definitely agree that he's earned another year at Texas. Just to kind of continue on, how do you feel about Texas drawing the tournament?
I really like Texas drawing the tournament. The one thing it's funny, the first weekend I'm actually more scared of than, the potential second weekend with, Alabama being the 2 seed and Michigan being the 1 seed. I feel like that's probably as favorable as it can get in terms of, who are the seeds higher than us in the region. We avoid Gonzaga, we avoid Illinois, we avoid Baylor. So we definitely get in my opinion, the worst 1 seed on the board in Michigan. And Michigan has Isaiah Livers, arguably their best player, out probably through the tournament. So I feel like the path is there, more so than, I don't know, Texas Tech. I think they're in Baylor's region. Oklahoma's in Gonzaga's region. So I'm just glad we avoided those teams. Although the first weekend is not going to be a cakewalk. Abilene Christian is really good, 23-4 in the Southland Conference. And, I mean, I think they're number 1 in forcing turnovers in the nation. So they're definitely going to put our offense to the challenge because we've had problems with turnovers in the past. And I think that they're going to try to make it like a scrappy dogfight, which they should. But outside of Abilene Christian, it looks like the round of 32, we'd probably play Michigan State or BYU or UCLA, one of those 3 teams. And I'm hoping we avoid Michigan State because Tom Izzo in March Madness is always a scary sight. And Michigan State's proven that they can beat anybody. I mean, they beat Illinois, they beat Michigan. I think they beat Ohio State. So they can beat anybody on any given day, and they can beat us too on a good day. So I'd prefer, beat Abilene Christian than get lucky and maybe play UCLA in round 32. I mean, BYU is also a tough out too. They can shoot. They got a huge 7'3" white guy that's always, feasting on the board. So I think if we get past the first weekend, I'm getting kind of bullish that we'll make a run, to the Elite Eight and maybe the Final Four if some chips fall our way.
Yeah, a lot of people are talking about Texas in the Final Four. I definitely think it's possible. I mean, I know everyone's talking about Matt Coleman recently, and he did have an incredible game, so it's not to take away from him. But I really do think Jericho Sims kind of exploding this season and being just so dominant in the paint and getting those rebounds really kind of helped draw attention away from Matt Coleman, opening him up for some of those 3-point opportunities as well. But yeah, I mean, I definitely see potential. To move along a little bit, who do you think are the NBA prospects from Texas?
Oh, it's obviously Kai Jones and Greg Brown. Those are the guys that are going to pop off on all the draft boards. You'll see them immediately in the first round. But like we've been saying, I mean, Jericho Sims is kind of playing his way into the first round. I mean, he made a lot of money for himself, I think, against Oklahoma State on a nationally televised game, and he was just dominating the boards. He was just like single-handedly really just keeping Texas ahead of that game. When it got close, we would just go to Jericho and he would just bail us out a lot of the time. So yeah. I know he's a senior and probably 22 years old, something like that.
Yeah, he's 22.
I think about Brandon Clark from Gonzaga, who went first round 2 years ago, kind of the similar type of player as Jericho, but he went as a first rounder at 23 years old. So I think if Jericho has another couple of good games in the tournament, there's a chance that he can maybe slip into the end of the first round, because athletes like him, they're hard to find. I mean, what is he, 6'10"? He's just jacked, and he moves very, very smoothly at 6'10", and he can jump out the building and block shots and dominate the boards. And I think he's definitely got a future in the NBA, and it's just a matter of him either making his way into the first round or being a second rounder. So Jericho Sims is a guy that people weren't talking about, but now scouts are starting to notice him, and Texas fans have known for a while that he's got all this potential, and he's finally putting it together. But in my opinion, the best prospect on Texas is definitely Kai Jones. I mean, what is he, 6'11", and he moves like a guard at times. He can just go coast to coast, layups, threes, step backs. It's hard to find people at 6'11" that can move and just be as smooth as him, like on the perimeter and stuff. And he can jump, he can block shots, he dunks like crazy. He reminds me a lot of Giannis Antetokounmpo from the Bucks. And I mean, that's an insane comp, because Giannis is just like a freak of nature. And Kai Jones definitely has that same mold. Definitely needs more polish though. But I mean, if I was a lottery team outside of Cade Cunningham and maybe the Suggs kid from Gonzaga, I would look at Kai Jones as like the third overall pick, just because the potential there is just so massive. I mean, just polish him up, give him a little better shot, put some weight on him. He's going to be like Giannis, honestly. So I'm hoping my Spurs can get Kai Jones, because it's like that's a perfect fit for us and what we need. Kai Jones, I think he'll definitely be a top 10 pick when it's all said and done. And then Greg Brown is, that's a guy that we penciled in early in the season thinking, oh yeah, this guy's a 5-star, top 10 in the nation, one and done for sure. He's still projected to go in the first round, and I'm sure he will go, but he actually got benched against Oklahoma State because he plays so frantically. The game is still fast for him. You can tell he's just young and not really seasoned yet, but the potential is there like crazy. I mean, he's like 6'9", and he can jump out the building. Probably one of the best dunkers in the NBA. Whenever he gets there, immediately he'll be like a top 10, top 15 dunker. And he just needs a lot of polish, and it'll be a while for him to be a big time player in the NBA, but I think he'll get there. The question is, will he come back for another year? I don't think so, just because of the money. And why would you not get paid to go get polished, and then instead of staying at Texas and working on your game for no compensation? So I think it'd be smart for him to go, but selfishly, I wish he'd stay for another year. So we'll see where it goes, but definitely 3 guys that Texas can put in the first round, in my opinion, which, I mean, that just kind of shows that this team is really stacked, and Shaka's got a squad that if the chips fall right, like I said, we can make a run in the March Madness tournament.
Right. Yeah, I definitely agree. Kai Jones, 6'11", 218 pounds. In the mock draft, they had him at the Hornets at number 15 overall, but obviously you never know exactly how that's going to turn out. But he would have a potential salary of $2.73 million his rookie year, assuming he were to hit that, which would be very nice. Can you imagine if Texas Platinum paid us $2.73 million? But Greg Brown, power forward, 6'7", 6'10" wingspan. They had him at number 22 overall to Toronto in the mock draft. Assuming he were to go for that high up, then his potential rookie salary would be $1.93 million. And I agree. I don't see him passing up $1.93 million in a year to develop more at Texas. So I'd say the odds are high that we lose Greg Brown in the next year. But I do like the way Jericho Sims is playing. I could definitely see him leaving as well. So we're definitely going to have some holes to fill next year, but that's just the nature of the game. So do you have any first round upsets to watch for in the tournament?
Yeah, I have a couple. I mean, it's all just speculation, and it's just fun to fill out brackets, but watch for Colgate. Colgate plays Arkansas in round 1. I think Colgate's the 14 seed. Arkansas is the 3 seed. I just think Jordan Burns, he's from San Antonio, actually. He's like one of the best players in their conference, and they can score. And I think they're like top 10 in net rating or something like that. So 14-1. And I'm sorry, Arkansas, they're good, but the SEC basketball wise is just really not that great of a conference this year. So I think they're going to be caught off guard with Colgate, and I think Colgate, takes them out in round one. Other ones to watch, I don't know. It's tough, but I look at maybe I don't know. Honestly, only one I'm confident in is that. So just if you want to put that in your bracket, go ahead and do that. But yeah, I just wanted to get at least one upset on to my name, so I can look like a genius or an idiot when it's all said and done.
I've seen a lot about Bama. How do you feel about Bama? A lot of people have Bama in the Final Four for some reason.
Like I said, Bama does look really good, but if Texas played Bama, and what would that be, the Sweet 16 or the Elite Eight?
I think it would be the Elite Eight, right?
I think it'd be the Sweet 16, actually.
Oh, never mind. I could be wrong. Yeah.
Either way, I'd feel confident in Texas matching up with Bama just because I like our big men versus their big men. But, I mean, you got to give Bama credit that, they won the SEC regular season conference title and they won the conference tournament as well. So they're definitely a good team. But like I said, the SEC is just – it's definitely not Big 10 or Big 12 level or even ACC level in basketball, in my opinion. So I think a lot of these teams that came up in weaker conferences might have some trouble when they go up against like Big 10, Big 12 teams. And I personally, I don't have Bama making a deep run. I actually think they might lose in round 2 to UConn. So, but if Texas gets there and plays them, that'd be a lot of fun. Texas versus Bama, kind of like two football blue bloods going at it in basketball. Get some revenge for Colt McCoy. So yeah, I'd love to play Bama in the tournament, and I think we could beat them.
Absolutely. So who do you have for your Final Four? I personally have Texas versus Gonzaga and Baylor versus Illinois. Honestly, I would love to believe that Texas is going to win it all. And hey, you never know. We might. No one's ever made a 100% accurate bracket. So who knows? But I would say probably Gonzaga takes it all. What do you think?
Yeah, I have Texas. Look, I'm being a homer here, but I can because for football, I'm pretty, I pump the brakes a lot of the hype because, the last 10 years of underachieving. Yeah. So, but with basketball, screw it. I'm all on the hype train right now. I think we can go to the Final Four. I have us in the Final Four because I think we're peaking at the right time. We have the veteran elite guards with Matt Coleman, Andrew Jones, Courtney Ramey, and then don't count out Jace Febres off the bench. He's a sniper. Looks like Ray Allen. I'm glad that he's finally back and contributing. I think he'll have a role in the tourney and help us out in some games. Brock Cunningham, the gel guy that just wreaks havoc on defense and on the boards. And then we have the NBA front line with Jericho, Kai Jones, and Greg Brown. So I think this team is literally crafted to, make a deep run. It's just a matter of executing and, living up to that hype. And like I said, we got a good draw. Michigan and Alabama don't scare me too much. Opposed to like a Baylor, Gonzaga, Illinois, Ohio State, teams like that scare me more than those teams. So, I have us in the Final Four. And it's funny because I was looking, we haven't won a tournament game since 2014. It was that Arizona State, Cam Ridley tip in at the buzzer to get to the round of 32. Then we lost in round 2 to Michigan. But it's been 7 years since we won a tourney game. And now I'm picking us to go to the Final Four because, hey, why not? This team's stacked. So I got Texas in there against Gonzaga. And then on the other side, I got Illinois versus Purdue. I don't think there's going to be 3 1 seeds in there. It never works out that way, although it's pretty clear that Gonzaga, Illinois, and Baylor are on a different level than everybody else. But I feel like one of them's going to miss out and get picked off. And I think Baylor kind of been sputtering towards the end a little bit. So I think Purdue comes in, battle test in the Big 10. I think they make a run to the Final Four. And then overall, I have Gonzaga versus Illinois in the championship, which would just be a spectacle, 2 elite basketball teams going at it. And I have Illinois winning the whole thing.
Illinois. All right. Awesome. Yeah, I think those are really good picks. Let's just hope the best for Texas. We have very talented big men in a draft class that doesn't have as much big man talent. So we definitely have the edge there. But I do think it's hard to pick a Final Four without having Texas in there. But yeah, is there anything else you'd like to add? I know this one was pretty short and sweet so far.
Not really, man. I'm just super hyped. I'm just so thankful we get to watch. We get to get a tournament this year. It sucked last year not having one. So we're thinking about making a bracket, group for Texas Platinum. And if we do, we'll put it on Twitter with like all the sign-in information. So we'll pump that out on Twitter and join that. And if whoever wins, we'll hook you up with something. I don't know what. We'll get you a little prize or a shout out. Maybe y'all can decide our next video topic if you want. So something like that. We'll do that on Twitter. So keep an eye out for that. And yeah, let's just hook him. I'm super pumped, and I think Shaka Smart. He might be up for a second Final Four run this year. Who knows?
I hope so. We'll see. Yeah, thanks for all the support, guys. And if y'all really like the basketball content, just make sure to like and comment and let us know, and we'll keep pumping it out, especially going into maybe the next season. But yeah, just let us know. And thank you for all the love that we've been getting so far.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all. Keep your eye out for some more spring football videos coming out here in the future. And hope